Peace and love, it's your boy Don Kilam, and welcome to Dream Keepers Radio, that private life podcast. You're here, tuned in with your boy, and this is brought to you by Follow the Yellow Brick Road by Don Kilam. Search the book on Amazon now. Go get the book and uncover the matrix and how the United States is operating in the financial marketplace. Much peace and love. Peace and love. It's your boy Don Kilam, also known as Malik Kilam. As always, prosperity is your divine birthright. This is Dream Keepers Podcast, and I'm in the building. Dream Keepers Radio Podcast. I'm in the building with Eternal Zion and Beauty. Let's start with Eternal Zion. Where you from? Let us know a little bit about you, and let us know who she is to introduce her and bring her in too.
Yes. So my name is Eternal Zion. I go by the nickname Shay sometimes, but I'm mainly known for my financial literacy and what I teach on multiple platforms like Instagram, TikTok, things like that. So that's basically what I'm known for. But we gonna get more into it. I do want to introduce my lovely lady here. Go ahead, Hi. Introduce yourself.
Oh well, my name is Bewley, also known as Bewlistic, and I am from Broward, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, and I also talk about just quantum physics and how to manifest using such, and lots of things.
Manifesting using quantum physics.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. That I've actually the game that I'm in, and me and Eternal Zion, we're basically in the same game. I don't even like how she said financial literacy because it's bigger than rap.
It is definitely bigger.
What you do is the private life. And it's bigger than just financial literacy. You can't even learn what you do in financial literacy books. It's estate planning. There's really no name that they can give it, but it ties in with everything. So I want you to know, I started with studying quantum physics and things like that on a spiritual level before I even started getting into these things. And it was due in part because, I don't know, it's the only thing that made sense to me. Then when I started this game that we're in, because some people call it, there's the names that I don't like though. Secure party credit, because people don't know how to use it right. They don't know how to say that right. They say they're a secure party creditor because they have a UCC1.
Yeah, that doesn't make you a secure. If you ain't got your irrevocable trust, if you don't have everything, from a legal demand notice, a security agreement, a hold harmless indemnity agreement, it's so many other forms that go into it and entail the protection, the protection of your trust. And if you don't have all of those in order, then you're not actually protecting yourself.
I like that. Asset protection. That's another key word.
Asset protection.
Asset protection. You're the asset.
Yes.
Yeah. So
your name, everything.
The reason why I'm excited to have you here is because I feel like we have to give you your flowers. There ain't nobody shouting you out like they should be. There's a lot of women that tried and failed this shit. I don't know if you know.
I don't.
Even people went to the feds, all types of shit.
Ooh.
Yeah, they be doing some crazy shit. Though,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I can say some names, but I ain't gonna say no names.
No, you can't be messy.
But no, it's,
We can't be messy.
We're not gonna be messy.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, because I don't know if you really knew about me. I came into this game with the record label as well. And I see that's what both of y'all do.
Yeah.
And your fucking music is dope, by the way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
It really is. This upcoming shit.
And another thing, y'all tapped in with celebrities as well, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting. The very first celebrity I remember following me fully was between Kyrie Irving.
Let's go.
Kyrie Irving, Tyrese Gibson.
Let's go.
And Jordan Sparks.
Damn, for real, Jordan Sparks?
Jordan Sparks follows me on Instagram.
Wow.
And it's so interesting because it's I feel like they watch me, they definitely watch, but they don't necessarily engage as much. I feel like I'm just more so here to kind of just educate and I think they definitely look at my content. They definitely look at things that I talk about, but they don't necessarily engage as much. But it's okay.
Yeah.
And what about any celebrities you're tapped into?
Yeah, a lot. But
I know I heard some of the stories.
We kind of like attract different, types of people. So one of them was Doechii. Another one is Rico Nasty, XXX Tentacion. People, people like that. We have a lot of,
It is big names though.
Yeah, you feel me? There's a lot.
Big names.
Yeah.
The reason why I like this because for me, it was able when I don't remember the first celebrity that followed me, but I know when Kevin Gates hit me up. But you gotta understand, I go in their DMs. As soon as they follow me or hit like, I go in their DMs. You mentioned John Sally too. I had talked to John Sally as well.
Yes.
Kevin Garnett, Waka Flocka Flame. But I slide in their DM when they follow me. I say, thank you for your support. ASAP.
Yes.
I say, here's my number. Anything you need, just reach out to me.
That's wonderful.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's wonderful.
I think that the reason I don't do that is because I don't want them to feel like I'm, trying to insert myself somewhere. And I kind of would like to just keep it open. It's like, if they're interested in anything, then of course I'm more than willing to give them my services. But it's also, I'm not, chasing anything, right? So you still gonna pay.
That's funny. So me, I'm a little bit different. I have gave leeway and helped some celebrities for free, but I make sure that it's fair exchange ain't robbery. Can you shout me out?
Yeah.
Can you give me a referral?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Like, cause literally how I got known was based off referrals, helping people for free. Yeah. Cause I was doing this stuff in the hood, and it's not stuff I like to do right now, but I know Zion can co-sign for this stuff because some people might say this shit ain't true, but I started helping people with weed cases and drug cases, coke cases. Like, I go straight to them like, your name's a business. What happens if Walgreens sells a bad drug? Right. Who's going to jail? They got 30 days of cease and desist.
I mean, they can call it fake, but there's testimonies out
here. They got their paperwork together.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and that's interesting you bring that up because I was recently, this was probably last year, I was actually arrested in Texas.
Oh, wow.
And I actually was in jail for 3 days. I didn't know necessarily the remedy of how to get out of jail. But when I got out, I created my affidavit of truth. I created my statements. I attached my legal demand notice. And I basically sued them. I'm suing them for $125 million right now. But also I got those cases completely dismissed.
Let's go.
They tried to tell me that I needed to take a 4-hour course. And I told them I humbly declined that. I'm suing you guys already. Exactly. You're in the wrong. You have my paperwork. The prosecution has my paperwork. They literally went over it. And it's so interesting because I still ended up having a public attorney. Yeah. I still ended up having a public attorney. I told him, I don't need you to represent me. I'll just need you to give my paperwork to the prosecution. Right. I'm not finna keep flying back and forth from California to Texas. I'm not about to continue to do this. Right. So he basically took my paperwork. He said, did what you asked. I gave your paperwork to the prosecution. And instantly, prosecution hit him back like, we'll drop the cases, but only if she take this class. But notice, if I had agreed to taking that class, that would have been me agreeing that I was wrong.
Admission of guilt.
That would have been my admission of guilt. Yeah. So I told them no. Yeah. And literally 3 days later, the same lawyer hit me up. He said, yeah, they dropped the cases. They dismissed the cases. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, of course they did.
Congratulations. Congratulations. We call that standing on your square.
Stand on your square,
with the Moors. The demographics is the graph of demons. So can you prove that Texas exists, or is it just invisible lines? Demographics is the graph of demons. That's how I play the game with them. Because you God body, they the devil.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
When the first case I ever beat, I was in federal custody. I want you to know the state courts are way harder than federal courts. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah. State courts are harder than federal courts. You need to take that shit to the federal level. Yeah. But mine was for counterfeiting money. I got popped for counterfeiting money, and that's when I started learning the game. Because I'm reading the codes and the statutes, and I'm like, this is copyright infringement. This ain't counterfeiting money. Right. Because only Congress can provide punishment for uttering and counterfeiting securities of the United States. That's not a security in the United States. Wow. The Federal Reserve note's not real money, nor is it a security.
No, it's not.
It's just it's the in God we trust. It's a note from the in God we trust. Yeah. But with the federal courts, they wouldn't allow me to represent myself. I always said sui juris. I object when they say pro se. What's the prosecutor? Prosecutor, prosecutor. So you're part of their jurisdiction. Sui juris means to write the contract. Yeah, your right mind. So this OG was like, just make them your co-counsel, appoint them as co-counsel, because the courts wouldn't talk to me directly. They couldn't recognize me. I didn't recognize them.
Right.
So we had to have that mediator.
Wow.
So that's what made sense when you said that. Like he was still representing you.
He was still representing you. Exactly.
But you did your shit right, though.
I did it right. So, and that's what I'm saying is it's completely okay for you to know the system and use the system against the system.
Yeah.
Right. It's different when you are in the private life and you know how not to even deal with the system, right? There's so many different ways of participation, but because I signed I signed something in jail for me to get out.
That was messed up. You should have done that.
I put my signature down.
Right.
So as soon as I put my signature down, I'm instantly in their jurisdiction. There's nothing I can do.
Signature, sign the nation.
I signed in order for me to get out of jail.
Right.
So it was because I did that, I had to use their system against. I used their own penal codes against them. I charged the officers with assault. I charged the officers with aggravated assault and kidnapping, abuse of power. I charged them.
But and you just keep demanding the oath of offices and the delegation of authority orders. Like, I'm not going to make it all about court today, but I asked them, first of all, can you show me a piece of paper that states that your power is greater than my higher powers?
Right.
They can't do it. You know, their power derives from God. You know, the Bible's a fact in the courtroom.
Yes, it is.
A lot of people don't know that, and that's why you make things in red too. That's the living word. You know, in the Bible, when Jesus, all the words red. Yeah. Also in the courtroom, have you heard of he's passed away now, but David Wynn Miller? You ever heard of him?
I haven't.
So he did something called quantum language. Since we're talking about quantum. Yeah, and this shit works in the courtroom as well because it's your own language.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the way we speak. It's like adverb, verb. It does something to the brain. And he was able to, it's mathematics and it just leaves shit hanging.
Could you give me like an example?
I can. I'm not on a deep level, but you would understand it.
Okay. And you said his name is David Wynn Miller?
I seen mortgages get discharged with this shit.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, David Wynn Miller. That's his name. And he was he said he was a federal postal judge. He was a former king, because remember I told you about the king of Hawaii? He was a self-proclaimed king of Hawaii, though. Wow. But not like the real one. He didn't have the blood. Because in order to be royalty in Hawaii, you got to have the lineage. They still keep track of the bloodline.
Were they respecting him, though? Did they treat him as
yeah. There was, yes. Wow. He was getting respect because he's beating cases.
Yeah.
You know, and he's going to England beating cases. Like, a place all over the world.
Yeah.
So, I'm surprised you haven't ran into this yet.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
David, I'm definitely
Wynn Miller.
Some research,
We'll research it, but it's called, he has his own quantum language.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy as fuck. I didn't really understand it. So, I mean, I understood it, but I didn't. And and then it's like, it's a form of numerology mixed in with that shit because everything adds up. Yeah.
So is it kind of like how you're very familiar with breaking down like the etymology of like words and things like that? So it's like you're rearranging.
Yeah. And like sometimes, I don't know. I like that I like doing that with my people that's on a different level. Yeah. But you know, I can't break an etymology of a word in China.
Yeah.
So this is all a game. This is all a game. Yeah. And we just mastered the game over here in Western philosophy, so to speak, in the Western hemisphere.
Right.
That's how I'm looking at it. But Amarylli law works all over the world. Yeah. Maritime law works all over the world. Just like these 508c1as. Yeah. All over the world. We can create an offshore trust with a 508c1a.
Yes.
Ministries, faith-based, all over the world. So how long because you just started talking about that. I heard you talking about faith-based organizations, 508c1as. How long you been familiar with that?
That's literally the first thing I learned.
Oh, yeah?
That's literally the first thing that put me on. There was a man, his name is Elisha Royal, and I'll never forget him.
Shout out to Elijah.
Shout out to Elisha.
Yeah, he was on.
He literally told me about how he had this case against... I just remember him. He had a case. And they put him in jail. He did not sign any papers. Yeah. They kept him in there for over 260 something days. Wow. He's suing them for over $460 million. Damn. And he never signed anything. They let him out. Damn. They let him out of jail. Never went to court. Never did nothing. I mean, and then he told me, he said it's because he has his own jurisdiction. His jurisdiction is his ministry.
That's it.
So I asked him, well, how does that work? Man has his own license plates. He told me he creates his own identification cards, his tribal ID cards. He told me he has his own constitution, bylaws. I mean, this man had everything. And he literally like coached me through as far as like how powerful a 508c1a is. And, you know, when I learned about that, that was the very first thing that I wanted to dive into. And then I started diving into more of trust law and like, what is a trust, right? What is an offshore trust? What does it mean to really protect your assets, right? And then, of course, we learn more about like the probate and how to avoid probate and how to, how the government, you know what I'm saying?
It's a rabbit hole.
And it's the rabbit hole, but that was the very first thing that I actually learned about as far as the 508c1a.
That's amazing. I'm not trying to throw you off either,
No,
Billy,
you're
but
fine.
do you know about the 508c1a? Because you did a great job talking about it on the phone yesterday.
Listen, everything, I won't lie, everything that I've learned about it, I have learned from Eternal Zion. I did, you know, speak to Elijah a couple of times, you know, but it's a process. And I think that when you get into it, I'm very familiar, but there's so many codes that I can't just like identify. She can name them off rip, but I know I'm familiar with everything.
Definitely a code.
Yeah.
And it's different than the 501c3.
Yeah.
So the 501c3 is a nonprofit and a public.
Yes.
And it will take away your freedom of speech.
Yes. No, I'm familiar. I've worked with them. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. I worked for a nonprofit. I was a banking director for Hip Hop for Change, things like
that's
that.
Lit.
That's why when you were going door to door and your past, I was like, canvassing, sales stuff, some of the hardest jobs ever. So I respect anybody who could deal with customer service like that. And you guys, with the work that you do, you have to deal with people on a daily basis.
Man, they're crazy
and it's
people
so
too.
Tedious. And the work that you guys are doing is so tedious. Just to go back on to Elijah, the resiliency you have to, you know, even deal with that, know your rights and know that even the people that you're dealing with don't know your rights as well. And using that as a factor against you is crazy. I mean, it's insane that he gets to like sue them now and get it now. But, you know, that also is something that causes a lot of fear in people to not even want to operate in a private.
Right.
They know that people are going to be targeted.
60 days in jail.
Exactly. Who would do that?
So listen, can I tell you something though?
She ended up signing shit.
If you're doing your shit correctly, they have to let you go in 72 hours.
Okay.
You said 3 days. So whatever you was doing it correctly.
Yes.
They have to let you go in 72 hours if if you're doing everything correctly. Now, if you got your trust set up, you got your tribe set up, you got your church set up, and you don't give them your identification, they automatically have to treat you as a foreigner. Or a national, okay? But that being stated, you have to have an ambassador or a counselor they can call.
Okay.
You know, to verify who you are.
See, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's all good. I got you.
The one thing
I rock with tribes, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
a lot of tribes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say I learned about the 508c1a is mainly because I hate taxes. I feel like taxes are the dumbest.
Not right.
The dumbest thing ever when it comes to this country. And I was like, when I create my businesses and when I start to sell products or create certain programs and things like that, it's like, I don't want to give them a dime of my money. Right. And I found out that not only is it completely legal for you to donate money to your 508c1a, as a minister of your own, 508c1a ministry, but you can literally write it off as a tax deductible donation. And then Elisha told me that you can use your 508c1a and create like a credit agency and loan the money back to yourself.
I mean, what's the Vatican do?
Right, exactly. And that is being actively practiced today.
Exactly. And with the loan, it's not considered income. Yes. So you don't have to, it's not considered reported income.
So how I move is, I rap for God, just like you. Record label, they work for the 508c1a, right? And everything goes to the church. Yes. And I'm in debt with the record label. That's where I get my loans from. Just like them, just like any other artist. Right. That's how I move. I'm always in debt.
Exactly.
We are always in debt.
Yeah, we're always in debt. But another thing I want to ask is, do you think that you understand that she's telling the truth because you're spiritual?
We'll be back after a quick break.
In a world where borders can limit opportunities,
One book dares to challenge the norm and empower foreign nationals like never before. Introducing Can't Touch This: Diplomatic Immunity as a Foreign National by best-selling author Don Kilam. Did you know there is a difference being a citizen and national? This is for foreign nationals seeking to expand their horizons. Do you dream of obtaining a diplomatic passport and the freedom it brings? Don Kilam reveals the secrets to unlocking diplomatic immunity and creating your own nation. Discover why you are already a foreign national, learn the steps to obtain a diplomatic passport, and explore how you can be recognized by numerous nations on your diplomatic journey. Most never knew they could have diplomatic immunity as a foreign national. This book is a game changer for anyone seeking freedom and recognition on the international stage. Get your copy of Can't Touch This today and embark on a journey towards diplomatic immunity and creating your own nation. Order your copy now and unlock the power of diplomatic immunity as a foreign national. Can't Touch This: Diplomatic Immunity as a Foreign National by Don Kilam. Available now at leading bookstores and online. Get your copy today.
Initially, so let's get into it because we've known each other for quite some time. I've known Zion before she was Zion. Do you get what I'm saying? So initially, I was almost like a guide for her spiritually. She would come and ask me a bunch of things, and then she led her own way into comedicism, and it went down this path with the Moors and all this stuff. But as far as I feel like I'm very intuitive, and in high school, there was a person named Young Pharaoh that I know. He's still around today. You know what I'm saying? He's still around doing this thing today or whatever. But I had a bunch of friends that put me onto him, and it brought me into this whole spiral of, just a spiritual spiral that kind of pulled me out of where I was at, which is Pentecostal Christianity. It started making me question everything. Once I started questioning everything, that's when, my spirituality really became to
and
began to open
y'all
up.
are a couple, correct?
Yes.
So before you met her, you was already speaking in tongues.
Yes, I was speaking in tongues since I was 8. You know what I'm saying? I was speaking in tongues forever. But I definitely felt like she was telling the truth. But also because even before I met her, I have rant because of the people that I know. I told you about my community, my family. Mm-hmm. They're wealthy, higher up people, and they're very spiritual. Can we talk about who your father is?
No,
oh my gosh.
Where you from?
Yes. Okay. So my family we're Jamaican. And my father is an ambassador in Jamaica, and he's always traveling.
Your father's an ambassador for Jamaica.
Yes.
Damn, Zion, you doing it big over here.
Yes. Yes. And but she didn't know that. We were discovering that because my father, he's not all too present. I've known him for forever, but yes. And then I wasn't even referring to him. I was actually referring to X, his family. They're very tapped in. They're very, spiritual. And our family is, I feel like wealth is faded. That's how I feel.
Wow. And that's deep.
Yeah. And I feel like if it's meant for you, if it's designed for you, then it will be no matter what. You just have to follow your path type of thing. And that side of my family has. And because I see the spiritual differences between both sides of my family, ones that resonate in poverty and ones that resonate in wealth, I was able to, tell that things are true. So when she discovered this,
Give me chills.
Yeah. When she discovered this information, it was isn't Elijah a part of the Moorish community? Mm-hmm. Once I discovered that information, I knew for a fact that it was true. So I just told her, I was like, listen, all these people that's trying to push you off, all these people that are trying to, they're going to get their lick back soon. I just kept encouraging her. I'm like,
but
keep
also,
learning.
That's why I think it's also crucial to understand. I think it's crucial to understand that this is why it's called the Matrix. There is a multitude of people who willingly, willfully, and unknowingly work for the Matrix. Mm-hmm. That is why they do not believe us. Mm-hmm. That is why they continue to go along with their lives. They continue to go along with their 9-to-5s, allowing these people to completely use them just through paperwork, just through contracts alone. Yeah. They don't question, why was there ever anybody on this earth who decided to stand on a mountain of gold and say, this is mine? Why are there people that exist on this planet that will go into an area, put a flag down, and say, this is mine.
Right, and claim
you don't question this.
Yes.
You just say, oh, this is what war is for. This is why we have war in the military. This is why we kill each other.
Right.
And it's so weird because y'all don't understand that the creator of this universe never said y'all own anything. Y'all have signed contracts that have willingly give up your rights,
exactly,
so that you can be owned.
This world is
and people
yours.
can own you and say what they own. That's the only reason why you believe that stuff. But if you didn't sign any contracts, you have the creator and you have your God-given rights to be here.
You want to know? It's interesting that you say that, because this kind of goes into how I feel like people think about themselves. As much as we go into the system and how much people put fear into people and the reasons why people are so complacent with this type of system, I feel like a lot of people, even this country, right? It's built on, like you said, the government and the church, like religion. You know what I'm saying? Separation of church and state, all this other type of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. But people in America, a lot of people are religious, but the limitations that they put on themselves make me feel like they really don't understand like their access to God and their access to freedom. And like they put limitations on God, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
They put their own limitations. So the fact that like somebody could come and tell you that you are not free is insane to me. If you believe that God is omniscient, omnipotent.
Just like governments to control means mind. They could tell you my freedom is a state of mind.
Yes.
Freedom.
Yes.
But I'm gonna go back to what she said about, these contracts. Man, we talk about con means to swindle, and then tract means treaty.
Yes.
So it's a fake treaty out the gate.
Right.
So even in the Holy Bible, it says that you don't make a covenant outside of God, and that's what you do when you sign the birth certificate.
Exactly.
The birth certificate shows you who your maker is.
Yes.
I just want to say though, y'all the wisest women that I've ever sat down and talked to.
Oh,
thank you so much.
I'm glad y'all fuck with
wiser.
me.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's hard. Okay. So what's really hard for women is when you are placed in this situation, or you're placed in households that teach you that you are to be a mother. You are to be someone who only exists in your femininity. Right? You are to be someone who caters to men. Right? And when you're taught this ideology, it's really harder for women to break into becoming more independent. That's why in 1974, when we had the opportunity, the Opportunity Act? What is it?
We're talking about the suffrage?
Yeah, so in 1974, there was the Equal Opportunity Act.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So it not only allowed women to have bank accounts, but allowed them to build their own credit. This is why divorce rates went high, because what was happening was that women were forced to be in relationships with men in order for them to have a financial security. So whenever we have women in these abusive situations with these men, right? Because at the end of the day, a man is very transactional. Men are transactional. If you cannot provide something for them, if it's not beneficial for them, there's no reason for them to have you there. So if you are a woman and you're providing something for the man, then of course, right? But if you're not, it can lead to a very abusive type of dynamic. So what was happening was women finally had the opportunity to be free from men and not have to rely on them financially. And that's why we have Rihanna today, who's a freaking billionaire. We have women today who own their own businesses, who are creating like restaurants that are health conscious. Like we have women today who are making changes and strides within our business industry because they were allowed to, because now we're allowed to educate ourselves. We're allowed to read these books and get into these, things. But people like us, we be in the house. That's why you don't see us. That's why you don't talk to us.
Well, I just know before I became Don Kilam, I'm not saying that's right or it's wrong. I only fucked with a girl who had good credit because I needed somewhere to stay. You know,
Oh my God.
I wasn't gonna stay in no bullshit.
At least you
Let me show you how to get your credit score together, girl.
Right.
That's what I was using this shit for, though. But that shit don't get you nowhere, man.
Yeah.
But I believe it takes a man to raise a man, but a woman to raise a nation. Information starts at the time of conception. So I love a woman that gets money.
Yeah.
I love a wise woman as well. You know, because money's just not good enough. Because I tried that too.
Yes.
You know, hoes get money.
Yeah. No, this is absolutely true. That's a mindset.
That's very true.
Yeah. So it's just like, what else can you offer? What else can you bring to the table?
Right.
But I believe this, you know, you either pimping or tricking. You either alpha or beta.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked about y'all. Y'all both of y'all have very alpha energy.
Thank
so
you.
I was like, how's that work out for y'all?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because I know it's
so
all
we remember.
bad.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if y'all clashing, I know it's all bad.
No,
It's-
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, well, I was saying that we switch. We switch when needed. We recognize where each other's strengths and weaknesses are.
That's
We
lit.
try to help each other out on those routes. That's why we try to always stay like open. You know what I'm saying? We never act like we know everything, if that makes sense. And we realize we've been together for 6 years now.
And that's amazing.
Right? It's a long
Congratulations.
time. So with that being said, we're growing up together, right? We got together when we were children, if that makes sense.
That's lit.
If anything, we're constantly changing. So she's going to come on some information that I don't know. I'm going to come on some information that she doesn't know. And a lot of this information is life-changing. And it ends up being changing our lives a lot. So we got to be ready to adapt and encourage and like all the time be aware. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Would you say you would check more men clients or female clients?
We'll be back after a quick break.
All right, go.
I'm rocking with Don Kilam.
Let's go.
Interesting enough, it's 50-50.
Wow, that's lit.
Really?
You know,
But
with me, it's usually older women.
It's older women.
Yeah.
Older
Or
women
they're young,
are
like 20, 18 to 21.
Yeah, I get young women as well. So it's very interesting. My recent clients have been women, and they are Black women,
Yes.
and very much interested in just protecting they're more so worried about their children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Than
I agree.
anything.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that I'm able to actually help them and give them the information that they need in order to, protect their children and protect themselves.
You're a living testimony, though, because there's not too many women that are representing, what you guys talk about. Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, a lot of women don't even feel like they have the space to enter these type of things, if that makes sense.
I mean, to be honest, they don't.
Yeah. No, it's a boys' club.
And even the men shouldn't be entering this space. Like you're living what you're talking about. You understand what I'm saying? These people don't live. They come just like somebody caught me. It was like, hey, I know you've been talking about Zion that you're kicking it with her, but do you want me to send you this? Because they selling her shit. Or they were like, they're selling our shit together. But you know what I mean? If they bought it, whatever, go re-rock it, do what you do. But I always say all roads lead back to Don Kilam.
Right.
All roads lead back to Don Kilam.
Either way you promote, you still promoting us.
Right.
You gonna send them to us.
Right. It's just like,
they gonna buy the $90 book, but they gonna spend $1,500 for me to do the paperwork.
Right.
Thank you.
Listen.
Let's go.
Listen. You can't just take a piece. All of it is connected to one another.
They're gonna follow.
So
Exactly.
It's like
So they're gonna end up going right back to you anyway.
I mean, we are the dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We are the dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you talk about it, like this is why I love, because I was there with you yesterday, even though you was working all day. I was still there and present, and you didn't shut the door or nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even though I didn't hear you what you were saying, because we're talking, we're having our own thing,
meetings.
business meetings and everything.
Oh yeah, I didn't shut the door.
But listen, I know
think about
that
that.
you're not on the computer. You're not looking through no books. All this shit coming from right here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's in you.
Yeah,
What you're spitting is in you.
Yeah.
And then another thing I loved about you yesterday, because I don't remember a lot of shit. And I think I like that because I don't lie. When you start trying to remember shit, you start lying. And truth never changes. Anything else is falsehood.
Right.
But Like when I showed you certain paperworks and things like that, and you just know exactly where it's supposed to go.
Oh
Right,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
what it can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I said, damn, that kind of took me a little time to figure that one out.
Yeah, you did say that, but no, learning how to
So
research is
just like off of this 508c1A trust, it literally I had to eat, sleep, and shit it for 9 months to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like I knew it was right. I've been seeing people I'm talking about 3 years plus, 4 years plus before I started digging into it.
Yeah.
So I knew it was 100% official.
Yes.
But it literally took me 9 months
deep.
to conquer this motherfucker.
It's
like
deep.
I didn't study nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it gets very deep, but I think that because, like I said, I had people. I had people who were more than willing to mentor and sit down. No, I know, but I'm saying like. You told me you studied this by yourself.
Well, I had to at the end of the day because, I want you to know when I'm glad I studied it, but then it took me to something called unincorporated associations. So you don't even have to use the 508c1A. The 508c1A is an unincorporated association
in itself.
But you got it because under Article 1, Section 10, the government can't interfere with a private contract.
Yeah.
Right.
So all you need is your bylaws.
That's
all you
right.
need is your constitution.
Yeah.
A mission statement, or then you have your trustees, or y'all have a trust meeting. You can use meeting minutes to open up a bank account.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. That's also, not to put myself on, but that's in my ministry starter kit. So
that's lit. Put yourself on. Show your shit out. So you got a ministry starter kit?
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Right.
That's hard.
Yeah, my ministry starter kit has everything in there from what you need, like from the claim of life to your declaration, everything. And then you basically appoint your managing director, and then you want to have at least 2 witnesses to basically sign those documents. You get them notarized, and after that, boom, boom, take that paperwork down. You can go and open up a bank account if you wanted to. And if you wanted to get an EIN, like you said, you can fax in you can fax in an EIN or an application. I think it's the what is it?
SS4.
SS4. So the SS4, and then you don't have to put your social security number down.
At all.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, and that's what helps. Like, and then you get that private EIN number. You get that, you take your, all of your paperwork down, and you can open up a ministry bank account like that.
Wow.
So, and it's very, very powerful because no one can question you. That's the thing about the major differences when you were talking about the 501c3. And when I learned about those major differences and how they literally can't question you, they can't try to seize anything from you. They can't like take away your right to any type of grants or whatever the case may be. They can't do it. It's impossible. You're a 501c1A.
And then that's my benefit because I do operate in the public with LLCs.
Yes,
all right?
me too.
These are my I consider them pass-through entities. Now, on a strict private level, you're going to discourage that. But at the end of the day, I mean, I love using it. If you're using it correctly, you're still going to be a non-taxpayer. I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
I don't say we don't pay taxes, but we are non-taxpayers.
Yeah.
Because we're not. A tax is a contribution anyways.
Yes.
It's voluntary.
Yes.
Everybody doesn't know that. But with that covenant, the birth certificate proves who your maker is.
Yes.
So a baptismal certificate, baby land deeds, affidavits of live birth. I'm not sure what you use.
I always say like it's the affidavit of live birth.
That's what you use?
Yeah, that's
okay.
like that is what I recommend for people as far as like when they're trying to set up their baby, and make
Say
it
they
make
have
sure
them at
and
home
make
or
sure.
something.
Yeah. So you could have the midwife sign it because
That's lit.
yeah.
A doula.
That's
right.
tight, about that.
No, I be helping her with her, you feel me, the clients and stuff. I be knowing stuff.
They're licensed.
Proud of myself.
They're literally licensed.
Yeah.
So they can sign for you on your affidavit of birth. And what's really crazy is because you will look at the passport documents that's needed. And you scroll all the way down.
They got all of that
You're
there.
gonna scroll all the way down on that website, and you're gonna see affidavit of birth, and it's gonna piss you off.
Wow.
Did they actually have a form
It's a
for affidavit of live birth for birth certificate? You don't have to put your shit on. You use theirs. That's exactly what
insane.
she's saying.
It's so
No, but that's
crazy.
insane
glad
that it's
you
like
know.
right
And you
there.
can
If you
take
just
that
scroll
down
down, it's
and
crazy.
literally get a national passport
What's
for your
crazy
child
is
with
all
it,
these
like-
other gurus that you talk to, they not going to tell you this shit.
Right.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're not.
At all.
And it's like it's so. And my thing is, I really look forward to creating with you, and that's what I mean. We have so much information
Yes.
that we need to
Oh, no,
organize.
I just want y'all to know I'm getting
Like,
behind her. So
we-
it's like, she's the leader. She's the fucking
I'm
leader.
still not gonna be accessible though. We not doing
yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah. That's
But I'll be the face. I ain't tripping.
yeah, she's the leader.
But we are creating courses, and I'm talking about real video
Actual,
courses
yes.
for you guys.
That breaks it all the
because
way
I
down.
know that people have learning disabilities, right? Some people are visual learners.
That's
Yes,
all of us,
yes.
mostly.
Most people are visual learners,
And this
right?
is why we.
That's
yeah.
why everybody knows Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Oh, let's go.
Because you are
Let's
all
go.
visual learners.
Yeah.
Bill Nye, the science guy.
Yeah.
No, what I wanted to say, not to cut you short, what I want to say is almost all of us have learning disabilities, or you would
It's
know
some-
the shit that we're speaking
Yeah,
right now.
Right.
Some form of
It's
fashion.
Some form of
Yeah.
fashion.
Because real knowledge will be the quantum
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
spiritual knowledge.
Yes,
Like,
they're
I
all
got these through
connected.
spirituality, spiritual
Yeah.
downloads.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, simple as that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Now, how do you learn? So let's
man.
break down this quantum.
Okay, yes.
What you actually do.
Okay, so basically, all right. So
'Cause you got a
as I was
book
saying
too,
that,
right?
yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay, so let's run it back. All right, so initially, on multiple platforms, I'm a priestess. I'm a shaman.
Let's go.
I am initiated in multiple religions. Some people would be against that, but I'm almost like a spiritual
Ashe.
wanderer. Yes, Ashe. In
Ashe.
fact, Ifa is one of the main ones in Elisha. I was for a long time. And pretty much what it is for me is I got into it through spirituality. And then I ended up going into, just self-help books that work on psychology and spirituality and mixing those two together. And once I went through that, I ended up finding little tidbits of like science in these books, in these self-help books. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, back up. Why are these like connecting for me? Why am I getting aha moments when, when science is placed into it? And I felt like it was two sides of the same coin that were like being brought together, if that makes sense. And so I felt like, well, if I'm having an aha moment with science, then that means that science and spirituality are connected, and we need to stop we need to stop. I feel like what's happening with people and stopping people from being able to like control this world the way that they want to is that we're separating things that should not be separated. Yeah. It's kind of like how they take books of the Bible out so you can't, you know what I'm saying? So you can't
like the
learn
book of Thomas and the book of Enoch.
Right,
Book of
exactly,
wisdom.
right.
The book of wisdom.
Cain killed Abel.
Exactly. You get what I'm saying?
Cain killed Abel, then Cain already knew his wife, then they begot Enoch. Where his wife come from?
Right, exactly. Because y'all don't know that it's two creations in the Bible. But we're not gonna get in the
Right.
Genesis verse 20. Okay.
Right. No, but it's intentional,
the
right?
Nephilims.
It's absolutely intentional, though. It's absolutely intentional. I feel like that's also something that was intended that are slipping past people, is that science and spirituality are not separate. The church used a lot of science as well. When it comes to Ifa, when you go to like your Bible hour, your priest or anything like that, and you come to them with issues or things like that on your path, they're writing you what they would call prescriptions. Do you get what I'm saying? They would call it prescriptions because it's like the science of spirituality. That's what I consider Ifa. So just me going on this little tidbit, that's kind of how I dived into it, was through these self-help books that mesh, like they put little tidbits of science into it. And so I felt like if that was the aha moment for me, then if I tell it to someone else, they're going to get it too. So I started doing a lot of research on quantum physics. And I realized that all of these biblical scriptures mimic what we've discovered with quantum physics, if that makes sense. It's almost like they prove one another. And so I started writing books about it. I started writing everything down. I have like this huge like grimoires, like zebra.
What would you say one
grimoire?
What is one quantum theory that you could bring up that proves manifestation or proves in like spirituality as far as like science?
Okay. Well, there's this. one thing that I've been thinking about recently is that there's a scripture in the Bible, I believe, that it says that I think it's before you even pray, it's already yours, or like speak and it should be yours. I can't remember the scripture.
Matthew 7:7 says, "Ask and you shall receive.
Ask and you shall
Knock and the door shall
receive."
be
You know what I
opened."
mean? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Things
yeah.
like that. Speaking of mountains will move type of thing. And there's in quantum physics, they understand that everything is already a part of you. Everything is made out of your body, right? It's made up of organs. Those organs are made up of cells. Those cells are made up of, atoms. Those atoms, subatomic particles. At the end of the day, subatomic particles, that's energy.
Right.
Exactly.
Everything's energy.
Right? Everything is energy.
I mean, it isn't even what quantum physics is like, like same way you think it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand.
Exactly.
So if you're pitching and holding your mind, you're creating that to draw it towards you. That's still quantum physics.
Exactly. So if you already understand, if you start to understand that your makeup is the same thing as that $100,000 car that you want, right? It's easier for you to attract yourself to that thing. And I don't want to just use words like attract and manifest and all this stuff. But basically everything vibrates on a frequency. And the reason why we're sitting on this chair right now is because you and I, all of our minds are willing this chair to exist. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Collective consciousness.
Yes, collective consciousness. So if you understand that you are willing these things to exist, then that means that the thing that you want, you already have, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
It's already yours. You don't even have to ask because it's yours. Do you see what I'm saying? It's part of you. You're part of it. So the way that I break it down, I have too many ways to make it make sense. I feel like if that makes sense.
I feel like if I could just chime in, I would say the thing when it comes to when I first started manifesting or when I first started getting into just like energy work and learning how the universe works, how to really bring things into my reality.
Right.
It was once I started to reprogram my subconscious mind.
Right.
And the only way you can reprogram your subconscious mind is through fooling or tricking your conscious mind.
Right.
And I know it sounds ridiculous,
These
but
girls be calling it
the way
Delulu,
that I feel
but
like
it works.
It works.
Right.
The way that I feel like I did it though was through writing down manifestations.
I mean,
the 369 manifestations.
That's lit. That's lit. And how the government does is they make you think you're this name and they put it on a piece of paper.
Exactly.
They
manifestation take you to jail.
They also do, which is crazy because in history, I was telling her about Mao Zedong. Right, which is a person who
propaganda posters.
Right, exactly. I was trying to tell her about like propaganda posters.
You have any more questions?
No. Keep going.
Okay, so I was telling her about propaganda posters and pretty much how this person used propaganda and like reprogramming by placing his face everywhere, by all this stuff, by making people believe that this person was a leader. If that makes sense, he willed himself into that. If that makes sense, he drawed it to himself.
Right,
he acted that way, and so I gave that to her. Now she's using this type of propaganda too, and it's working. We're here right now.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So,
well, we're gonna have to do another podcast.
Absolutely.
Dive into it.
But they shut down my other Instagram. I'm hoping to get that back. Don Kilam University. That's how you're gonna follow me on the Instagram. But go get this book, 508 When They Ministry Trust. It's the #1 bestseller right now on Amazon. So go look it up. But let us know how we can follow y'all.
For sure. You can follow me on all platforms at Eternal Zion. ETERNALZION. There's no numbers, no underscores. It's a lot of people pretending to be me.
Yes.
So just please make sure that you're following the right page. I have over almost 500,000 on Instagram and I have 250,000 on TikTok.
Let's go.
Yes. And my name is Bewley. You can find me at Bewlistic. That's BUELISTIC. And that is on every single platform. Yes.
It's been a pleasure linking with y'all. I'm still kicking it with y'all too. We still got more shit to do.
Yeah, we still kicking it.
And you can text Private Life to 702-200-4900. Again, text Private Life to 702-200-4900. Much peace and love.
Text it right now.
Bye, y'all.
Hey, y'all lit.
In a world where the tax system can seem overwhelming, one book is here to guide you towards financial empowerment. Introducing The Capitalizing Namepreneur, Unleashing the Power of Tax Credits by best-selling author Don Kilam. Are you looking to demystify the complexities of taxes and harness the power of tax credits? The Capitalizing Namepreneur provides an understanding of effectively utilizing your tax credits. Discover the secrets behind setting up a tax firm, understanding the strawman name, protecting your assets, and navigating the implications of the Social Security Trust Fund. Don Kilam's expertise shines through every page. It's like having a personal financial advisor by your side. Get your copy of The Capitalizing Namepreneur today and unlock the power of tax credits to enhance your financial well-being. Order your copy now and take control of your tax strategies. The Capitalizing Namepreneur. Unleashing the Power of Tax Credits by Don Kilam. Available now at leading bookstores and online. Get your copy today.